Hello students, I am Mrs. June Fernandez and I will be teaching English to class 7. Children, time. Time is a concept which waits for none. Right now what you are doing, the next moment what will you do, what you did the minute ago, it waits for none. And so let me just ask you, what will you call something that you were doing a minute ago? What would you call it? Something that you were just doing a minute ago. It would be called the past. Whatever you've done a minute ago becomes a past. It won't come again. Similarly, do you know what comes the next minute? Do you have any idea what's going to happen the next minute? What news you'll get from somewhere? You do not know what will happen in the next minute. What happens in the next minute is what is it? It is our future. And right now, this very moment, what we are doing right now, this is our present. So time is divided into 3 parts. Time is basically divided into 3 parts. The past, the present and the future. The past, the present and the future. And over here today what I am going to teach is a beautiful poem about this concept, the past, past, present, future. A beautiful poem written by Emily Bronte. The poem is written by Emily Bronte. Emily Bronte is a poet who has tried to put this concept of the past, the present and future from the point of view of a very happy child. In her poem, she is questioning a very happy-go-lucky child. What is past for the child? What is present for the child? And what is the future for the child? And we are going to see how the child expresses his feeling about the 3 parts of time: the past, the present, the future. Emily Bronte, she lived in the 19th century and she had 4 sisters and all of them were very good authors and poets. All of them wrote lovely poems. Emily Bronte was known for her work, especially because she brought in more about, she spoke about nature. Today's poem also, when we read the poem, you will see how she has expressed all her feelings about these 3 concepts, the past, the present, future, and related it with the nature, the elements of nature, how she has expressed it and compared the 3 concepts with nature. So, right now, I'll read the poem for you first. The Past, Present, Future by Emily Bronte. Tell me, smiling child, what the past is like to thee? An autumn evening, soft and mild, with a wind that sighs mournfully. Tell me, what is the present hour? A green and flowery spray, where a young bird sits gathering its power to mount and fly away. And what is the future, happy one? A sea beneath a cloudless sun, a mighty, glorious, dazzling sea, stretching into infinity. So it's a very short poem. In the first stanza, the poet is asking this happy child, especially a happy child, you're talking about a happy child over here, and not of any child. You ask somebody what is a past, like somebody who has a lot of burden, an adult especially, will only talk about all the worries. Any adult, ask your parents at home, what is past for them? They'll start grumbling. But this little happy child, This happy child has so many things. He says the past, what is past for him? So the poet is asking over there in the first stanza, tell me, smiling child, happy child, smiling one. Why, especially mentioned over there because it has to be the feelings of a happy child and not any other child, not any other person, not anybody with worries and tensions and all other things. It is a happy child. Understand this. So, what the past is like to thee, what the past is like to thee. Now, a little bit of vocabulary. Thee was used mostly in the olden English, in the Shakespearean language, where thee stands for you. It stands for you. So, tell me, smiling child, what the past is like to thee, to you. An autumn evening, soft and mild, with a wind that sighs mournfully. So, what is it for the child? An autumn. Autumn is a season, you know, when the leaves, the trees shed their leaves. It is a season when everything starts renewing afresh. So over here, but here he is telling about the child is missing that part. He is telling it is like the wind that blows, it sighs. It is like to sigh. The meaning of sigh. To let out a long breath slowly. This is what it is. Though it is over, the past is over. It is like a wind that sighs mournfully. Why is the child mournful? Mournfully. Mournfully means sadly. Mournfully, sadly. So why is the child telling it like he is telling that it is like the wind that sighs mournfully? Because when the wind is coming, it is crying. Why is the wind crying? Not because it is wanted to get rid of those moments, but because it is missing. The child, the happy child, is missing those moments of the past. Those whatever happy moments he had, this happy child is missing all those moments. And so he wants to go back. But can he go back? Can we go back to our past? No. That is why the child is more sadly saying it, sadly, like the wind that sighs mournfully. It is like the past is like a wind that sighs mournfully. It is like just blowing away and gone away now. It's not going to come back. And so the child is sad about it. I won't get those happy moments again. I won't get that joy when my dad brought me an ice cream maybe. I won't get that joy when I stood first in the class that last year. Whatever the past, whatever joy, it's not going to come back. It's not going to be repeated. So that sadness is there in the past. So that is what the child is right now. He's just expressing that it is like the autumn wind that sighs mournfully, that just breathes out mournfully, sadly, to tell that he wishes that he would get those time again. He wishes to go back to the past. And in the next stanza, the poet is asking about the present to the child. Tell me, what is the present hour? What is the present hour? Tell me. A green and flowery spray, where a young bird sits gathering its power to mount and fly away. So what is the present for the child, that happy child? The present, it is a learning phase. Every moment what we do today, it becomes an experience tomorrow. Everything that we learn today becomes whatever we have learned, it's going to be useful tomorrow. And that is what here he is. It is a learning phase. And you learn. He says that you can learn each and every minute you are going to learn over here. And that is only in the present. Past is gone. But what is there is the present. And that is what the child is telling. It is like a green flowery spray. It is fresh like a green flowery spray. What is a flowery spray? A spray A small branch which has a lot of flowers and leaves on it. So just like that, like how fresh it looks if someone, a nice branch and with leaves and flowers on it. So it is, he's telling it is like that. It is like that freshness of those flowers. And it is like a young bird. What is it? Where a young bird, and on that flower, on that freshness, on that beautiful thing, a bird is sitting. A bird sits and gathers its power. It gathers its power to mount and fly away. So getting ready to fly away. So fly away to where? To getting ready to fly away where? Fly away in the future. To go to the future. So today, whatever you are going to learn, whatever, yesterday is gone, what is there is today. It is the present. And what the child learns in the present is going to be useful for tomorrow, to achieve higher heights tomorrow. And that is what it is compared to that bird who tries to sit on the flowery spray, on the freshness of the new things, on the beautiful place over there. It is enjoying the beauty as well as it's gathering all its power. It's learning all the things that it has to learn. And then it is going to now be ready to go ahead. To go ahead into the future, is preparing itself to go into the future. That is what present is for the happy child. The present is all the moments, all the opportunities. Every opportunity has to be taken advantage of, children. Every opportunity. One should learn to take advantage of all opportunities. Today, whatever you are getting, these classes, you have to take opportunity. Go through the exercises after the poem is done and do it, because what is today will not be there again. Whatever you learn today, it will be always useful for tomorrow. It won't come again but tomorrow. It will be only useful for tomorrow. All your mistakes, you can, if you make a mistake, you can rectify. You can improve and go towards a better tomorrow. So everything that you learn is in this present moment. The past will not come, but the present is always there with you. You do not know what is in the future, but the present is always there with you. And that is what the poet is telling. The present, take all the chances that you get. Whatever you do, use it for your future to achieve greater heights. Like how the bird wants to fly away. You too have to learn to fly into the sky at higher heights. That is what the poet is trying to convey through the feelings of that little boy. Then mount over here, gathering all its power to mount and fly away. So we have another new word for you, mount. To climb. Mount is to climb onto the branch, get all its power, take all its opportunities, and then fly to the future, to the highest heights where you can reach. And then the third stanza over here, in the third stanza, the poet is asking that little happy child, and what is the future, happy one? So what is future for you, happy one? And the child says, a sea beneath a cloudless sun. A sea beneath a cloudless sun means a cloudless sun means a clear sky, a sky which is very clear. And a mighty, glorious, dazzling sea. And the sea is not just a sea. It is a mighty sea, a glorious sea, a dazzling sea, mighty. Powerful, glorious, worthy of praise. dazzling, very bright. So what is it? A sea. It is a sea. It is when you stand and gaze at the sea. What do you observe, children? When you stand and see, you can see the sky, a limitless sky around over there. And the sea over there, it looks so powerful, mighty sea, a glorious sea, a sea worth making, you can praise it, you can just stare and you can just enjoy that moment, standing and watching the sea. And that is what it is, a mighty, glorious, dazzling sea stretching into infinity. And that is how the moments are, future moments are for all of you. They are going to be wide, open, they'll expand for you, you'll have various horizons to cross, and there you'll have all the things, opportunities to soar high, to reach to whatever you want, to reach your aims. That is what the child is telling, that it is the future. Do we know what's going to happen tomorrow? No. It is just like how the sea looks endless. You stand on the seashore and look at the sea, you can see the sea going endless over there. It is just, you have to look all round, you'll just see sea and the sky. It is limitless, endless. And there you stand and see. Similar is the future. It is endless, it is limitless. You do not know, it is unknown. You do not know what is going to happen, it is just unknown. Yet it is very exciting for the child. For that happy child, it is very exciting because he wants to know what is it. He wants to explore new things. He wants to see what it is. That is why he is fully ready to go and check out what all is there, what opportunities are going to lie ahead. Though he doesn't know what lies ahead, he wants to know. He is anxious to explore all these things. And that is what in the last line, the stretching into infinity. Stretching into infinity means infinity without end, endless. Stretching into infinity means without end, endless. So here, if you see, the poet is telling you what the child thinks about the past. The past is like those moments which may not come. He's sad because of that those moments may not come. But at the same time, he is not going to moan over it. He is going to take all the advantages of the present time, of the present hour. Whatever he learns, whatever he is going to get today, he is going to make use of it and move into this endless world of the future, which is endless, is unknown. And the child is ready to go into the future with all what he has learned in the present, in the past, and he is ready to move into the future. This is what the poet is trying to tell. Now, let us see one thing over here. Have you noticed the poet has compared all the three things, the past, the present and the future, with different things. The past was like an autumn. The past is compared to the autumn wind, autumn evening, soft and mild. Here it is compared to the autumn evening. The present, it is to a bird. A bird ready to fly. And the future to the glorious, mighty, glorious sea. So you can see these three things. Past is called like an autumn, it is an autumn evening. Present is a bird ready to fly, and future is a mighty glorious sea. Now these are called, this is kind of a figure of speech where the poet uses different poetic ways to make the poetry beautiful. And these are called figures of speech. And so we will just introduce you to two different figures of speech related to comparison. So we are going to learn figures of speech. These are some things which are used to make the poetry beautiful, and you will be learning as you go into each class, right from standard 5 also. You must have heard about it, but I will explain again. So you will be learning different figures of speech with every poem, and today I want to specially teach you all two figures of speech, that is the simile and a metaphor. A simile and a metaphor. A simile. Now, both of them are used to compare. Let us know that both these things are used to compare. Now, how they are used to compare, that is the difference in them. Both are used to compare, but how we use them to compare anything in the poetry, they are like an imaginative comparison. When we are comparing two things, both are used, but how they are used makes a difference. In a simile, while comparing two things, we use words like as or like. For example, as white as snow. As white as snow. So when I say a simile, we use when we are comparing. So the clouds were as white as snow. So when I am telling about the clouds, I am saying they are as white as snow. So I am telling that the clouds were looking like a ball of snow. So that is what when I am comparing, and that becomes a simile. It is easy to just pick out a simile from any poem because the words which are there are as and like. So the moment you see a comparison with as and like, you know it is a simile. But unlike in a metaphor, these words are not used. As and like are not used. But like for example, we have all the metaphor examples in the poem. In this poem that we learned today, we are just saying, we are calling it. Like for example, we say, we are not saying life is like a game, we are saying life is a game. So we know that the qualities of life and the qualities of game are somewhere similar. So we just say life is a game. Similarly in the poem, the poet has said, past is an autumn evening. Past is what? An autumn evening, soft and mild. An autumn evening, soft and mild, past. So directly it's not comparing. Past is like, the poet has not used words like past is like an autumn evening. Poet has directly told you that past is an autumn evening. Similarly, present is a bird, a young bird that is sitting ready to move, to fly. So here again the present is not, it is not like a bird that is ready to fly. Present is not a bird who is taking all the opportunities. We are not saying, using the words like, but we are using the qualities of the bird to us, with the little boy who is in the present situation, ready to grasp everything, catch everything and ready to fly. So here in the present over here, but the boy, the child is the bird. More than the present, the child is a bird ready to fly, ready to take all the opportunities that the child gets, just like how a bird is ready to mount on that flowery spray and fly. Similarly, a child is like a bird ready to fly. to achieve the heights. And future is not like, again the poet has not said future is like. He says, what is a future? Future is a sea beneath the cloudless sun, a mighty, glorious, dazzling sea. A sea beneath. Future is a sea. Future is that unknown thing where you can go and explore and learn go out and reach those horizons wherever you want to, your goals and your aims. That is future. So it is directly, the poet has said, future is a mighty, glorious sea. So if you see all the three things in all the three verses, what has the poet used? Has used metaphor. Metaphor has been used in the poem in all the three stanzas. And a simile is not been used, but you know how to pick out a simile from a poem. So this is with the poem. There are some exercises given at the end of the poem. You can go through those exercises. Meanings I have already written on the blackboard. You can take them down. And I have already told you all how it is. Solve the exercise, and when we meet in the next class, I may ask. Thank you, children.